Welcome to Outlaw Theology with the Whiskey Preacher. I'm your host, Phil Shepard, better known as the Whiskey Preacher, and today I have a very special guest here on Outlaw Theology, award-winning jewelry designer Udi Behr. Thank you so much for being on here, Udi.
It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
So, as I was telling you right before the interview started, I found you in a very, well, I guess it wouldn't be considered an odd way anymore because it is the world of Facebook and the internet. But I was on Facebook and I saw an ad for this amazing jewelry company called Love and Pride. And I clicked on it and I saw that jewelry was being made for the LGBTQ community, that wedding bands, commitment bands, but what stood out to me the most was it wasn't jewelry just for the LGBTQ community. It was jewelry that was promoting equality across the board. And that happened to be your website, your jewelry company that you created to help spread peace and love. For those who don't know, Udi was in the military, grew up in Israel, and then after you got out of the military, you learned your trade in Tel Aviv in the diamond trade. Is that correct?
I didn't learn my trade. I learned my trade in life, but I started my journey into the jewelry world from the diamond trade in Tel Aviv. I was sent to New York in 1983, long
Wow.
time ago.
Wow, wow. And you created Love and Pride out of a need that you found that you wanted to create, and correct me if I'm wrong, you wanted to create a line of jewelry um, with the success of the L Word coming out, and it was in its third season, and you wanted to create a line that supported the out and coming world of the LGBT community. And you had already had success with Saks Fifth Avenue, and they were very hesitant on carrying a new line that targeted the open and affirming community. So you decided you weren't going to take no for an answer, and you decided to create Love and Pride. Tell me a little bit more about that process.
Well, let me step back and I go back to a very significant day in my life, and in all of us' life, with 9/11. And 9/11 was a very significant part of my life. In any part of it, especially my creative and my jewelry design. And I decided then and there that I'm going to dedicate most of my life to create jewelry that promote peace and equality, love, hope, all the beautiful things that I think the world needed at the time, versus the anger and the despair that people showed. And I started with actually a collection called Love, Peace, and Hope. I did it in my studio. Mind you, I live in the shadow of what used to be the World Trade Center, and I started a collection called Love, Peace, and Hope to promote those beautiful, important values. That was the collection that went into Saks Fifth Avenue in 2001, 2002. In 2004, while I was watching Larry King and Gavin Newsom during the San Francisco gay marriage, a short gay marriage windows that Gavin Newsom, the mayor of San Francisco, approved, I was really touched by it and really understood the magnitude of the misjust of denying any group same equal rights that most American and most people have. And I decided then to create a collection that will endorse this fight for LGBT gay rights and for the LGBT to get married and to have a normal life and like everybody else, military, all the given things that most Americans get. And I started a Love and Pride collection in the idea of supporting gay marriage and giving a part of it back to the community and having a philanthropy angle to every piece I do, and I still do. So that's the beginning of the journey of Love and Pride. And then I was approached by Airword, and the rest is history. So actually, Love and Pride started as a protest against depriving a group of people, LGBT, that a lot of them are my friends, family. I mean, I'm an artist in New York.
Because you yourself are not openly gay, are you?
No,
Yeah, and
but
that's
it doesn't matter.
no, and I agree.
I actually don't like when I ask this question, really, and I tell you why. You know, I was very influenced by the movement in the '60s. One of the movies that really touched me most was Mississippi Burning, and it was about those Jewish kids that went down and helped you know, the African American fight for the rights, and they were murdered. Nobody asked them if they're black, right?
Mm, yeah,
Just people, you know. So I don't like also the segregation and the definition of gay, straight. I think that we're all people. I think that people define by good and bad, you know, by positive, negative. I don't care what you do in your bed. I don't think you have to reveal it if you want to, or you don't want to reveal it. Don't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't define you. Defines you is your spirit, not your sexuality.
I absolutely love that answer. Backing up a little bit, did you grow up in a certain type of faith situation that helped root you in the desire to help bring peace, love, and equality to the rest of the world?
Well, you know, obviously I grew up in Israel and I was influenced by Judaism because that's the, you know, I mean, I don't think I met a non-Jewish person before I was maybe 15, 16 years old, you know. I mean, just the way, I mean, again, you're talking about 60s, 70s, before Facebook, before internet, being a segregated country, you know, you don't come across. So I'm sure I was inspired somehow for my heritage. I am a very, you know, I'm a very, I believe in spirituality, and not necessarily a certain religion. You know, I believe that everybody has the right. I believe everybody has the right to find his or her guide, you know, and believe, as long as it's good and it's for the good of human being. And I think there's a lot of beautiful things in all religion, you know, and people can interpret it the way they want. I think, you know, I think in Christianity, if really the religious, political part will understand that the main sermon of Jesus is take care of the poor, take care of the needed. You know, I don't think he's preoccupied with gay rights or with the Second Amendment or the First Amendment. You know, system. I think if we really follow the scripture of Jesus, that is, and we can argue if he's the Son of God or not Son of God, but we cannot argue about his existence, and it's what he left behind is about peace and harmony and helping the poor and the deprived. And if that's Christianity, I'm also a Christian. If that's Judaism, I'm also a Jew. And if that's Islam, I'm also a Muslim.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that, and I really appreciate your take upon that because I think a lot of folks, in particular, have that light or darkness in which you were originally talking about, and we can choose to either illuminate that and, for lack of a better term, capitalize upon that and try to make a better difference. I think what you are doing with Love and Pride and the other jewelry that you have created has brought a piece of beauty into the world and has having this larger effect on the rest of the world. Did you ever think that the pieces that you made would have such a large effect on the rest of the world?
Oh, I don't think that way. I hope, you know, I look at the individual. I think a piece of jewelry on a person affects that person. I don't think it will so globally. I hope it did. I did many pieces of jewelry that sometimes educate. For a long time, I had a collection called 1138, and it was just a simple number 1138, and it was representing the federal rights that were denied. DOMA just resolved it, but denied from LGBT. And it was interesting because when people saw the number 1138 and asked me, what is this 1138? And when I say this is the number of federal rights that are denied, I felt that I left an imprint and I educated something through jewelry, simple thing like that. Or when I do the Matthew Shepard pendant that talks about compassion, understanding, tolerance. So I hope it educates, but I don't think it's so globally. I think about it personal. I think change comes from one at a time,
Mm.
one person at a time. I'm not as ambitious of changing, I'm not standing on a podium and changing the world. I want to change one person or influence or give one person at a time something that I believe in.
Do you have a piece of jewelry or a line that you personally like the most out of everything else you've done?
I cannot tell you how many times I've been asked this question, and I don't have an answer because it's like, it always reminds me, I have a son and a daughter, and whenever the response says, who you love more or most, I mean, I love you both differently, but it's not most.
So let
No.
me ask it this way. Is there a line or a piece of jewelry that you're the most passionate about at the moment?
There is no line of piece of jewelry that I'm most passionate about, but there is one piece that I really love because, not so much because of the piece that I obviously love, but because what happened with this piece, and it's the Matthew Shepard pendant, because this piece raised close to $200,000 for the Matthew Shepard Foundation. So I think the good that this piece did, the money that this piece added to the Matthew Shepard Foundation, that is very dear to me, is it makes me very proud. So when you have a piece of jewelry that raised $200,000, that's exciting.
Oh, absolutely. And for those who don't know, will you tell us a little bit about the Matthew Shepard tragedy that happened in Laramie?
Sure. Well, Matthew Shepard was a beautiful young man that was picked up by two guys in a bar. He was driven into a field, was beaten up severely, was tied up to a fence and left to die, and was found, I think, 18 hours after he was left to die, like a dog. You know what? I don't want to even say like a dog because it's not a dog. I don't know in any animal creature that is deserved or can die like this. I don't even know. I cannot even find the words, honestly. And he was found unconscious, and I think 5 days after he was in the hospital, he passed away, and he was brutally beaten up just because he was a gay guy by two monsters that are serving life in jail. And I actually, well, I mean, like America, we're taking very, very taken by this story, and it really infuriates me personally, and but many, many people. And in an event that I did, I think in 2007 or 6, I don't remember exactly, I met somebody from that foundation, and I decided then that I'm going to develop a pendant that I will give 100% of the proceeds to the Matthew Shepard Foundation and help raise money to the most important mission of Judy and Dennis Shepard, called Erase Hate. How to erase hate, how to educate people, and let people know that from this tragedy we have to have good come. And Judy Shepard and Dennis Shepard did an unbelievable work, also on a political front, and got the hate crime bill passed under President Obama. So this pendant is a part of it, and I'm very proud to be part of this organization. I was honored in 2010, and I won the Peace Essential Award from the Matthew Shepard Foundation, and that's a wonderful possession that I will possess for the rest of my life with my pride and joy. And it just there's so much I can say about it, but this is really an amazing story, amazing people, and a beautiful piece of jewelry that does beautiful things.
Have you had much fallout from other retailers, organizations? I am automatically, when you were thinking of talking about the Matthew Shepard story, I think about, Fred Phelps and his whole crew of just this ugliness surrounded in hate. Has there been any other fallout that you've seen personally and as a businessman?
I don't know of it. Yes, it's not that it probably didn't happen. Could be happen, and there are many times that I get rejected. I mean, not many, but few times I get rejected. Could be that's the reason. I think people will not dare to face me. I am still a very tough Israeli guy, a very opinionated, Gemini human being, and it would be very hard to really mess up with me. So not to my face.
and
Not
and
since 2005.
and
Before, when I was raising money, trying to put it, people did not want to touch it, but for different reasons. But since then, nobody viewed his negativity toward me.
and even business wise, have you had any fallout from it? Like,
Again, I don't know. I don't know if I did because nobody will say to my face. So did some businesses that did not happen? Was that the reason? Could be. I tell you, really, I don't care because if you're that kind of a person, I don't want to work with you anyway. So
yeah,
I'd rather know that. So don't work with me. If you don't believe in those fundamental equality ideas and peaceful ideas, I don't want to do business with you anyway. So that's fine.
a portion of Love and Pride still goes to different charities who are fighting for equality within the LGBTQ community. Can you tell us a little bit about how did you select the nonprofits that are also in this fight, and what portion of your proceeds go to them?
Well, there are two ways that we do proceed. One way that I develop a specific piece of jewelry that 100% of the proceed goes to the charity. When I say 100% of proceeds, is I take only the cost of the material and the shipping, and everything else goes to the charity. Just we know, it's the biggest chunk, of the piece. 50-70% of the piece goes to charity. And those charity I deal with is Marriage Equality USA, Human Rights Campaign, HRC, and Matthew Shepard Foundation. Also, when you purchase from anything you purchase on my website, and we're talking about over 1,000 items, 5% from every purchase goes to either of the charity. It's for you to choose what charity you feel best about.
Mm.
So those are the three charities that I'm working with, close with. I also worked in the past with Lambda Legal, great charity also. And I also work with a charity that was promoting a gay in the military, but that they were fired because we have no issues with that anymore.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't fired, but I mean, it was dissolved. So, one of the biggest frustration I have is I cannot take every charity on me. Those are the charity that I felt good about. It's not that I don't feel good about other charity, and I hope to add more charity in the future.
What would you say to an entrepreneur who is in the process of launching their new business and who is socially conscious and wants to make a difference, say, within the LGBTQ community? What would you tell them as an ally or as a queer entrepreneur themselves? What would you tell them to encourage them for their next step?
It's a very mixed, I have mixed answer. I want to tell him one thing is just do it.
Mm.
Don't let anybody stand in your way. But the second answer, I would tell him, it's going to come with a price. It's not an easy thing to do. And we all have other obligations. So if you can afford to do that, just do it. And if you cannot afford to do it, just be part of something else. It's a very difficult process. It's not easy. It's a lot of tear and sweat and blood and determination. Not all of us are cut the same. For me, I can tell you that I did not stop, and I can tell you I had many bleak and dark days on the way. But I'm a stubborn person, and I think stubbornness is a part of what helps you
It's a good
through it.
entrepreneur.
But I think sometimes it's a very difficult road
Yeah.
to take. Not
And,
everybody is cut up for that.
and you can't be afraid to fail.
I it's some I enjoy, I don't know, I like failing. I don't like failing, but I always say I learn a lot more from my failures than my success.
Mm.
Failing is part of the deal. Absolutely.
New projects coming up. What are you excited about?
Well, I'm working on a lot. I've been working a lot with TV shows. So last year I started with Revenge. I'm working on something with Dancing with the Stars. When it comes to Love and Pride, we're actually in the process of raising more money. We want to expand Love and Pride to different plateau, add products, add charity, and maybe open a store in the coming 2-3 years. So this is what I'm busy raising money and expand Love and Pride. Make it a much stronger brand, because just like you, that by mistake you coincidentally went through Facebook and come across Love and Pride. I believe that when people will learn about Love and Pride, people that are progressive, people that understand humanity, gay or straight, they will enjoy Love and Pride, because Love and Pride is not just about gay marriage or gay rights. Love and Pride is about great product.
Yeah.
And great brands.
Yeah. I completely agree. I'm a fan of jewelry myself. That's one of the reasons why I was intrigued by.
That's cool, man. I love your swearing.
I absolutely love the stuff that you create, and maybe one day I can actually have one of your pieces. I would be honored to be able to figure out how to do that one day.
Really,
One question I want to ask before we wrap up. I know that you have a passion for justice and a passion for equality for all humanity. But what brought you specifically into the forefront of coming along as an ally to the LGBT community? What was it?
In 2005, that started, as is 2003 where I am today. In my view, the last frontier of equality and justice is the LGBT. I believe that if I was in the 60s in America, a young man, I probably would be part of the
civil rights movement.
Civil rights movement, exactly.
I've often said the same thing. That's funny that you say that.
What?
I've often said the same thing.
But it is. I hope soon that all my charities will not be needed. Agency will close the door. Marriage Equality USA will close the door. I actually started with an organization called Marriage Equality. That's my first organization, was Marriage Equality in New York. They closed the door. They were fired because we have marriage equality in New York. So, and then my friend.
That's great.
Now they're doing Marriage Equality USA. So I think we need to look at ourselves as a society. We need to explain our children, our great grandchildren, that we lived in this era and we did not agree with the misjust. For me, it's a personal thing.
How can folks find you on the internet? I know that you have a Facebook page, you have website. Can you give us what those are? And do you have a Twitter, Pinterest, any way folks can find you and Love and Pride?
Well, on Facebook, we can go to loveandpride.com. That's the easiest. When you go to loveandpride.com, they'll give you everything you need to know. You can Google me, Udi Behr, and you can find a lot of things that we did. Love and Pride. It's very transparent, and we did so many wonderful things and so many wonderful events. In a short but yet long 8 years. One event that I wanted to tell you about before we go, and to explain to you with Love and Pride. In 2008 or 7 or 8, we gave 1,138 roses in Union Square under the Lincoln statue. We gave 1,138 roses with Lambda Legal to people in the street to protest the 1,138 federal rights that the LGBT community is deprived. So we do many things. Learn of what we did. We walk the walk. We just don't talk the talk. We did many things. Our company, I have a great team. By the way, when I talk Love and Pride, although I'm the founder and I'm the face, it takes a village. I have an amazing team of people, a great organization I work with. It's not all about Udi. It's all about love and pride.
retail outlets, where can folks find you?
Nowhere yet.
Nowhere yet. Okay.
No.
But that
One
is
day
to come.
coming soon.
Okay. Well, Udi, thank you so much for being on Outlaw Theology. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate the stand that you make and the fight that you're fighting. I just appreciate what you do, bringing beauty into the world, one piece of jewelry at a time. And I know that what you do has even an effect on what we do here as a faith community in Fort Worth, Texas. And especially as we continue to fight for same-sex equality here in the Buckle of the Bible Belt. So just thank you very much for all you do. I appreciate you being on here, and hopefully we can have you on here again soon. And thanks again for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's great. Thank you so much.